I'm going to show you guys my incredible home judo training routine that I developed on my own over the years. That, yes, it helps me throw heavier opponents. It absolutely keeps my stamina in check where I can last multiple rounds of Randori and not gas out, give the same amount of effort each round, and just feel super proud of myself after practice. Accomplished, like I actually did something, and drive home feeling like I'm getting 1% better after every practice and get the respect from my peers, other advanced players, and instructors at this highly competitive dojo that I'm training at. All right, we're going to break it down on a Miro board. So watch till the end. If you've been doing judo for a couple of years now and you're kind of like plateauing and you want to get to that next advanced level, I'm telling you, it has to do with your technique that you can be improving at home, your strength, and your judo specific stamina. I'm going to talk about the difference between steady state cardio and fighting specific stamina. So watch till the end if this is something you're serious about. All right, my people, welcome to the video. This is the blueprint. This is the cornerstone, the foundation of leveraging your own training at home to get better. Okay, this is going above and beyond. This is what the obsessed hard worker, not normal person does. Because I'll tell you, you have the advantage if you're like me, if you're obsessed, if you're slightly crazy about improving. Because the average guy who goes or girl who goes to the dojo, that's all they do. All they do is rely on the instructor. All they do is rely on practice 2 times a week or whatever time. All they are at, their improvement is at the mercy of how advanced or competitive that club is. So if they're more focused on like lower ranks or kids, and the instructors are all old, or they don't have much experience, they're not very fit, they don't really practice what they preach, and they're constantly training, they don't have to compete necessarily, but geez, at the most, be fit and be sharp at your technique, practice what you preach, then you're not going to improve. You're going to be just like everybody else. You're going to be out of shape. Your technique is going to suck. You're going to be frustrated every time you're doing Randori and you're trying to throw, and they keep evading your move, and it just feels like you're going nowhere. And you've been training for like 5-6 years, and you're the same. I'm telling you, if you don't shift something, it's going to stay the same. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, repeating the same thing, and expecting a different result. So if you pay attention, this blueprint, what I do, this is what helped me kind of break past that plateau and get a little extra, not a little, a lot of extra reps and work on my own while I was going to some like low, crappy club who was really kid oriented and not much competition and very like agenda-y. And I did all these things, man, and I'm telling you, my technique got better. I could actually apply what I was doing on real ukes. My Randori endurance increased. It was amazing, guys. So let's dive into it without further ado. And I'm dropping the sauce on you guys. Okay, so we're going to start here with my absolute favorite one. This is probably the best one out of all of these, but all of these do contribute, guys. So pay attention to all of them. So grappling dummy. So first of all, there's links in the description. If you guys are serious and you're watching this far in the video, get a freaking dummy. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just get a cheap one to get started, okay? But you need a dummy if a lot of your training is going to be alone. The rest of these are good, but they're not as good as this, okay? So this is what exactly you're going to be doing when you have your grappling dummy. So like I said, no, I didn't say this, but lighter dummies are better. The lighter the dummy is, the better it'll be. Because in my experience, it's just like lifting weights. First, when you're trying to master a workout or at least get a good workout, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with heavy weights that you can't even lift and perform with proper form. You're going to hurt yourself, A. B, your workout's going to be messed up because you can only do like 1, 2, 3 reps, and you're not going to get a good, muscular contraction response, and it's pointless. Same thing with a heavy dummy. If the key is to sharpen your main throws, then if you're doing it on a heavy dummy, it's going to make it hard, because the whole point of doing this is to perfect your form so you can come to practice and show off and, have that cocky feeling that you know how to freaking throw amazingly with flawless form. it starts practicing at home with a dummy. Practice it, go crazy. Like do tons. I'm gonna tell you, like doing tons of reps in order to master it, so you feel confident. With competence comes competence. With competence comes confidence. Okay, so I would recommend 40 to 50 pounds max. And once you're good, I'm probably gonna upgrade my dummy to a heavier one. The problem is when they're stiff, because here's some footage of me throwing a really, really heavy dummy at my dojo, and this guy is stiff, man. The problem is they won't bend. Like when I try to do kataguruma or something, or like tomonage, what involves, the natural human reaction would be to bend. It's kind of pointless if the dummy doesn't bend. You're not going to get the realistic reps that you would need to do the specific throw that requires your uke to bend. But when you have like a lighter dummy, these are more bendable. It really just depends on the factor if it bends. But the really stiff ones and the heavy ones kind of suck for this. The heavier ones are probably better to do like ippon seonage and like doing power reps and like hip throws, and uchimadas are decent, but like doing tomonages on them and sumigayashis, katagurumas, drop knee sales are probably gonna suck with really stiff heavy dummies. Okay, so lighter ones are better. Put a gi on it. That way it's realistic. Like you're actually assuming that you're practicing gi judo, not like wrestling or no gi. And you can also do Uchi Kcomies with it. Like doing Uchi Kcomies, especially like Osotogari, Uchimata, Seonagi, whatever you want. You can even tie. I don't have footage of it, but years ago, I had a thing in my basement where you would tie your heavy bag, your punching bag. I actually tied my it looked like a noose. I tied my dummy by the neck on that thing with the bounji, and it actually held them there so I could do my Uchi Kcomies. So I would find some kind of setup like that, or you could just hold them upright. It doesn't really matter, but it depends on certain throws. Like I know Seonage, you would need to have them standing if you want to do Uchi Kcomies, but just throw honestly. But yeah, if you want to work on your Uchi Kcomies, it's something that you want to perfect, then yeah, the dummy, putting a gi on a dummy is perfect for that. Number 3 is throw with intent, guys. Throw with intent. You're not going to get better if you're throwing like a pussy. You're throwing slow, you're throwing soft, you're just going through the motions. You want to throw super hard, you want to throw super explosive, you want to land on top, you want to do things that you otherwise could not do on a real human being because you're afraid to hurt him. Now you can do it on your grappling dummy. And I promise you, if you do this, like you throw 110% with 110% on the dummy, doing it in a real life scenario on a real uke, your throws are going to be a lot better because chances are you're not going to throw your uke at 110 because it's this judo etiquette to not hurt your uke, right? But trust me, over rotate, get your head up to the sky, lots of kazushi, learn momentum. If you do all those things, your throws will be flawless. Focus on your main throws first before you get all fancy, because the point of this training at home with the dummy is to sharpen, polish the throws that you already are good at. And this just takes it to that next level, I'm telling you. And guys, repetition is the father of learning. Okay, you got to do hundreds and hundreds of reps if you can. If you don't got that much time, at least like 25 to 50 in a session is good. But the point is, like, this is why Japanese people are so good at judo, because if you go to the Kodokan or whatever, honestly, any dojo in Japan, they're freaking amazing. This is what they do. This is their secret, doing hundreds and hundreds of Uchi Kcomies, doing hundreds and hundreds of Nage Kcomies, throwing ukes. But yeah, in my experience, man, doing hundreds of reps, you're going to discover after like the 20th rep, you're going to start to get better, like in a row. You're going to start getting some nice momentum. The blood's going to be flowing. You're going to get your form nice and down, especially if you're throwing with intent and really rotating, getting explosive. It's amazing, guys. And imagine if you do this 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, and you get like 500 reps per week. You're going to be freaking amazing. I improved my Taiotoshi just after 100 reps in one day. You guys have seen my Taiotoshi, right? For those who've been following me. If you're not following me, guys, go to my Instagram, because I'm posting every single day everything that I'm doing to get my judo to the next level. Okay, it's my goal to get my judo to elite level, and I'm training at this dojo where it's really helping making it happen. and on top of doing my own training at the gym and with my dummy. So guys, this isn't, I'm not making this up, man. This is something that I do whenever I recommend, like my clients that I'm working with to help implement this exact blueprint. It's, you best believe it's not something, I'm not giving them something that I've never tried myself. All of this I did years ago through trial and error. And in my experience, it's like the best way to train on your own. I discovered the formula, the equation to improve your judo, to throw heavier guys, have more stamina, have more strength, better, cleaner technique on your own. This is the way you don't have to rely on a partner. You don't have to rely on the dojo. Number 2, the next one, are your shadow Uchi Kcomies. Yep. So kind of like shadow boxers, right? I always say it all the time. What do they do when they're like warming up? They have their hoodie on, their headphones, they're warming up, they're like punching the air. We're martial artists too. Okay. A lot of you guys, you overcomplicate your home training. Most of you guys don't even have a home training routine, yet alone. It's just, you guys overcomplicate the basics, guys. Stick to the basics. Yeah. Throwing actual grappling dummies a step above shadow Uchi Kcomies, but never neglect the basics. I see Japanese black belts, Olympic guys still doing this. Ono Shohei, arguably the best judoka in history. What's his number 1 throw that works the most? Sotogari. Guess what? For those who aren't that experienced in judo, that is the number 1 throw we learn in judo, and he's perfected it. Okay, it's not about the fanciness of the technique. It's about who's the wielder, who's the caster of that tool. If the person performing the tool, using the tool, is amazing, a crappy tool, a rusty tool, an advanced tool, no matter what level the tool is, can be amazing depending on the person casting, using the tool. Bruce Lee also said, I don't fear the man who knows 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who knows 1 kick and has done it 1,000 times. Repetition, guys. Repetition is the father of learning. So Shadow Uchi Kcomi, if you guys know, follow me and stuff and watch my stuff on like Instagram or YouTube, I post a lot of wall Uchimata drills. I love that one. I didn't invent it myself. It's actually a traditional Japanese exercise to work on Uchimata. But this one's amazing. No dummy, no bands required for this one. Just enter, use the wall to balance. And same thing with Ouchigari. I don't do Ouchigari that much with the wall. I use it mostly for Uchimata. But this is like a universal tool, the wall, to do like Haragoshi, Uchimata, and Osotogari. Any throw that requires like reaping, like lifting your leg. So use the wall. And again, enter with intent, guys. Enter, because this is how you're going to develop that explosivity and that speed for when you want to throw an actual heavyweight and really bring your head to the ground. And again, you don't have to do just Uchimata. You can, or use the wall. You can just enter like stationary seonages. You could also use a gi. Here's the last point. You can use a gi to even go a step further and make it even more realistic. Where you grab the sleeve and grab the lapel, and you just enter your shadow Uchi Kcomies, whatever your favorite throw is. Remember, the key is to continue to work on our 2 to 3 main throws. We got to polish those. Stop getting like ADHD trying to do a bunch of different techniques. Remember Bruce Lee's quote, I don't fear a man who knows 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who's trained 1 kick 1,000 times. So just dial in, really lock in, and focus on your main 2 to 3 throws. For me, it's Osotogari and Uchimata and Kataguruma. That's it. That's all I focus on. And like, Yoko Tomonage whenever I have the time, but it's not like my go-to. Remember, I get inspired by Ono. His main throw is Osotogari and Uchimata. Look how amazingly he does. Those are like the only throws you see him doing when he's fighting. And lastly, the third point here is when you do these, it's really going to improve your flexibility, especially with Uchimata. If you really touch the ground and raise that leg up, the more you do it, the more flexible you'll get. The more your form will improve, especially with the rotation, with the seonages. Your speed, if you really focus and dial in on your footwork, oh man, your speed's going to get better. You could even go a step beyond and use leg weights, but you don't have to. Or even tie like a resistance band on you. I'd probably have to make a video showing you guys how to do that. And obviously your muscle memory. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've done Uchi Kcomies. I would do hundreds of Uchi Kcomies with the band with seonages, and that actually helped me perfect real in-person seonage Uchi Kcomies at the club. And everybody was like looking at me like, wow, you really improved fast. I wonder how you did it. I'm giving you guys a sauce. Number 3 is the same thing, but with a resistance band. So using a band, a resistance band, to do your Uchi Kcomies. Now the band just gives it that extra resistance, makes it feel a little, develops like the muscles that you're gonna activates the muscles that you're gonna use to throw, like the rear delts for the sleeve hand, and really using that lapel hand. It boosts explosiveness, especially with the resistance it's giving you on the rotation. I think this is a typo, but who cares? You're gonna notice how I said in the previous one, like I said, like my Seonage Uchi Kcomi improved so much from doing this. You guys seem like my setup in my garage. I tie the resistance band on the rail of my garage gate, my garage door rail. Like I learned that from my dad actually. But that's how I would do hundreds and hundreds of Uchi Kcomis. I do them fast, I do them slow at first to get the form down. But yeah, man. And not only Seonage, I do like the universal like Osoto Uchimata Haregoshi one where I like punch down and raise my leg up like I'm entering like a French style Osoto. So many different things you could do with this. You could do Kataguruma with the band. Just be creative. It's all about being resourceful and being creative with this, guys. And then lastly, HIIT cardio, judo specific high intensity interval training. So this is the foundation. This is the cornerstone that's going to give you that extra stamina. It's going to boost your endurance on the mat. It's going to really mimic a lot of Randori. But don't get me wrong, guys. The actual thing is the best form of cardio. So what do I mean? Doing actual Randori, tons of Randori round is what's actually going to give you the best type of stamina. But this is a video of not relying on the dojo. So when you can't go and do your Randori, like I always say, minimum twice a week to get that benefit, you should be doing this on your own if you want to continue seeing that progress in your endurance. So you're not screwed when it's time to fight, go to practice after you haven't gone in like 1 to 2 weeks and you feel like your cardio sucks. If you really want it, guys, you would make time to do your high-intensity judo-specific HIIT exercises. So how to get this down right? So this is the way I set it up. So I choose 4 to 5 different judo-specific exercises per circuit. So the difference between HIIT for judo and steady-state cardio, like running or biking or swimming, is when are you ever gonna be running or doing a consistent steady-state effort for like a 4-minute judo match? No, you're constantly changing direction, shuffling on your feet, getting down for an Ewaza, posting, dragging him towards you. When do you ever run the same pace throughout a match? No, for like 90 minutes. No, don't get me wrong. Any kind of cardio is good cardio, but if you're specifically trying to improve your judo-specific cardio, high-intensity interval training is what you got to do. So what kind of exercises should you do? So first of all, I recommend the range of 8 to 10 reps per exercise in these HIIT circuits. You want to be explosive. You want to wear yourself out. That's the whole point of this. You want to make your training hell so the actual performance, it's easy. So when you're doing Randori or when you're competing in a match, it feels easy. It's like studying your ass off for an exam. You know that feeling when you study really hard? It sounds like you overstudied, and then come the actual exam, it's way easier. It feels way easier. It's like you over-prepared. But that's the best feeling because it's better to over-prepare than under-prepare and embarrass yourself. Okay, so here's an example of a HIIT workout. So I do these all the time. If you guys browse through my old videos, I have a couple of high-intensity interval trains, but basically a lot of explosive stuff, guys. So, stuff that mimics judo. So 5 burpees, if you don't know what a burpee is for whatever reason, you drop down, you do a push-up, and then you jump in like a squat and do an explosive squat as high as you can, explode, touch the ceiling, jump as high as you can. And then you're doing these like back-to-back supersets. You're not resting per exercise. You're resting per circuit, per set, because we're doing these for like 3 to 5 rounds. But per exercise, you're doing all of these in a row nonstop. So right after you do your 5 burpees, you're going to go to your Uchi Kcomi band setup, and you're going to do 3 band Uchi Kcomis, super fast, explosive each side. Right after that, you're going to run to your dummy, and you're going to throw it 1 time each side, followed by 10-second like quick feet, boom, 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 and finally finish. If you have like a barbell at home like I do, you could do 5 barbell cleans, or just pick up a rock and do like, thrusters where you lift the rock and you clean it, and then you push it up, and you go down, you lift it up, and you push it, and do that 5 times. So you do that entire circuit 3 to 5 times, and you rest a little bit each time. So there's a general rule of thumb for HIIT. They say if you want to have get the benefit out of it, they say to rest as long as you need after each set, to the point where you can actually give the same effort, give maximum effort each set. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. That's what I heard from this one YouTuber named Thomas DeLauer. But I feel like the less you can rest, the better, because that actually builds stamina, and that's kind of how Randori is, anyways. Like, there's not much time to rest. They don't give you much time to rest in between rounds. It's kind of at the mercy of the instructor. But that's the blueprint, guys. And we just covered the technical stuff. So obviously, there's a lot more in terms of like weightlifting, nutrition, and kind of like mindset, how to not be afraid when you're fighting heavier guys. And one last big point that I put in bold here. So you guys, I want you guys to remember, okay, because I care about you guys. I don't want you guys to like feel frustrated like I did at one point. So it says here, never let your home training exceed your actual fighting experience. What I mean by that is don't master throwing a grappling dummy, but then when you go to the dojo, you can't throw an actual human being to the same capacity. You know what I mean? In fact, it should be the opposite. You should be able to throw a human a lot better than you throw the dummy. That's how you know there's a good balance. So how do we balance this? That's why I say you got to go to the dojo twice a week, and everything you're working on, you implement it. You put it to the test in person with your uke or in Randori. That's why I say to drill. When you're at the dojo, you should be doing the dojo minimum twice a week. Do Randori, attack, try all your main throws during Randori. And then at the end, if your instructor lets you, drill with a partner 5 to 10 throws for 3 sets. And that's it. 15 to 20 throws of the throws that you're also working on with the dummy. That way you can kind of figure out, okay, like apply what I'm doing with the dummy on a human being. What am I missing? What feels different in person versus with the dummy? And what can I adjust? How can I make it more realistic at home with the dummy so I can annihilate these heavyweights at the dojo? So this might be overwhelming. I understand. Like, there's a lot, and there's even more that I help my clients with. I give them like this whole blueprint, and I customize everything that adjust their life, like adjust it to their lifestyle. Because a lot of us, work a 9 to 5 job or have other responsibilities, and we don't have the time to do all this. So you might think, but what you need is just somebody that understands, who's been there and done that, and has done this and improved their judo while working a full-time job. I have done that, and go to the dojo and the gym. And that's what my clients are doing. They're getting amazing results. They're seeing the difference with these workouts, this blueprint that I set up in my one-on-one mentorship for judo using home training. And they're seeing how it boosts their cardio, it boosts their form. They're winning tournaments. So, if you're serious, only if you're serious about like taking your judo to the next level, like I said, you're already like decent at judo, but you want to kind of like lock in on an in-person or a home training routine, because the dojo that you go to maybe isn't as competitive. You're not improving as much as you want to. Shoot me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is Joey Gonzalez. The link's in the description, or straight up book a call with me. The Calendly link, find an available time. We'll get on a call, see what you're about, and if you'd be a good fit for my one-on-one, if I want to work with you, and also if it makes sense to even make you the offer to join. But in the meantime, guys, this is only the technical stuff. I'll see you guys in this video, which I go over one of many of my gym strength workout routines for judo, because that is also what is going to give you that extra boost and benefit to throw heavier guys and really understand momentum and develop explosive, fast twitch muscle fibers. See you there.